My name is Patricia Lanarani Sanchez, and today with my partner Omar Castello, we're going to be talking about our topics for the final project of our English class. So, yeah, let's begin. So, my topics basically going to be the unfinished and broken state of current video games. And so, yeah, let's start. So, basically, my topic is going to be a quick one because I'm I'm very familiarized with this kind of trends going on with the video game industry, where big budget games, or also known as AAA games, have been basically releasing with very poor states. Not unfinished per se, but finished with a lot of bugs, a lot of glitches, very poor optimizations for consoles or their PCs. So yeah, it's been like that for about 3 to 5 years. So it's been kind of bad in that sense. Some examples of those games, or of those type of games being released, will be or are Cyberpunk 2077, famously known for very bad performance on PS4 and Xbox One, very bad optimizations and very bad models. Battlefield 2042, finished game, but with a lot of bugs and a lot of glitches and a lot of content in the game in the first place. Next, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, a very recent release, around 2 months ago in this year. Its problem was it has very bad performance on PC in specific. Well, yeah, in general in PC, even if you had a very good configuration with very good specs, you had very bad performance in the game. And also Last of Us Part 1, specifically a PC version of this game, which is a port of the remake of the first game of the Last of Us series for PS5. The problem with this game, which you can see here, is that whenever you drop down the texture quality from high to lower settings, for example high to medium settings, the game will look like this. It will look very clay-like, and it also required spec, very high PC specs for a type of game they were running, which wasn't very demanding, which wasn't a really demanding game, unlike Cyberpunk 2077 and even Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And the last example is basically Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. The problem with this game is that it's always rushed when it comes to games for the Pokemon series in general. They have specific deadline of 3 years between releases because they have to match the release date of all the merch for the next generation of Pokemon and stuff like that. So they never get enough time to actually develop their games. And this time they went with a very ambitious vision for the game, which was trying to do an open world style of Pokemon game. And it resulted in this with clipping NPCs, very bad texture work as you can see here and there, and very poor performance for a Nintendo Switch game in general. So yeah, basically the issue with this has been a long-standing one. It's always been happening because management of video game development or video game developer brands such as EA, Activision, or even Sony, for some reason, tend to steer often for profit instead of actually releasing a quality product. They tend to release quantity over quality, and this has been something that's been well known for a lot of time. So that's why a lot of the video game industry and the people that play the video games that have been released just tend to wait until it's patched up until the state it was supposed to be, which is probably going to be taking 2 to 4 months. But also by that time the game is going to be discounted. So basically, people tend to accept the state of the game as it is, but that's a sad state to be in the video game industry as a whole. And is there a way out for this? Yeah, we have to demand for better products in general and not purchase the games that are being released like this. But a lot of people just also they do buy them because of the hype of the same game, but because they already bought it, they already rewarding the company for a bad product that the company itself knows that it is in a bad state and still releases it. We don't have the knowledge of it being a bad product until it is released. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword of being protective with our money and also being hyped for the game and buying it, and also rewarding the company for their bad practices and their bad habits of releasing bad products in the first place.
Hi, so my name is Omar Castello, and I'm going to talk about Japanese fashion tradition and innovation. Well, um, Japanese fashion, current fashion, has been long renowned by its unique, influential fashion scene, where creativity, innovation, and attention to detail it's very known. From the vibrant streets of Harajuku and to the high-end boutiques of Ginza, Japanese fashion continues to captivate global audiences and inspire countless trends worldwide. The historical influence is to truly appreciate Japanese current fashion. We must dive to these rich historical roots. So traditional garments like kimono and yukata have been left, but they still have their mark on contemporary fashion. The exquisite craftsmanship, the patterns, the emphasis on elegance have been found their way into the modern elegance and designs, creating a new and old design fashion in today's fashion. Um, we also have the street style, Harajuku, and beyond other cities in Japan. We have vibrant streets of people constantly reminding us that Japan is one of the most influential countries in the world of fashion. Harajuku is renowned for its diverse and eccentric street style, with individual free expressing themselves through clothing and accessories, from gothics to visual kei to cosplays. Harajuku fashion embraces individuality and subcultural influences. So one of the most important things in Japanese style is the aesthetic and minimalism in Japanese fashion. It often associates with elegance and really old and different types of of fashions. Like the Victorian era was one of most inspirational times for Japan to make their own unique looks, such as today's designers Yohei Yamamoto and Kawakubo. They're one of the most influential artists of of this day on bringing back those rich and simple customs to this era and making it more modern. Then we have genderless and unisex fashion, because we know Japan has been in front of genderless and unisex fashion movements, breaking free from traditional gender norms. Um, it blurs the boundaries between masculine and feminine styles, such as we have toga, face tans, we have visual kei, a lot of these subgenre styles that make people feel like their own way to express themselves, and it really is offering a gender neutral clothing promoting exclusivity and self-expression. Next. Then I'm going to talk about the streetwear and sportswear of Japanese fashion. It also embraces the global streetwear and sportswear trends such as a Bathing Ape, Neighborhood, Undercover. One of these brands have gained international acclaim for their unique take on streetwear aesthetics, combining bold graphics, unconventional materials, and really high fashion, meticulous attentions to detail. Japan streetwear offers a distinct style that appeals to fashion enthusiasts worldwide. It also maintains a traditional craftsmanship, such as really intricate embroidery, hand dyeing techniques to traditional waving and lacquerware. Many designers collaborate with skilled artisans to infuse their creations with a touch of heritage. This fusion, this fusion of traditional craftsmanship with contemporary fashion creates a unique and exquisite piece of a Japan's rich cultural legacy. Um, Very high fashion, very trendy, but it keeps that essential of very classy style. And that's it for me.
So yeah, thank you so much for your attention, for watching both of our topics. I hope you enjoyed them. And yeah, it will be it for us too. Thank you for